watching the Jennylyn Show, and I'm Jennylyn Gleave, your host. Tonight, the young, handsome gentleman sitting with me on my set. If you've seen the movie Coco, well, you may have heard his voice. Well, you did hear his voice. And I can't wait to begin the interview so he can tell us all about his role in the movie Coco. His name is Emilio Fuentes. Emilio?
Hi.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, Jenny. It's really, I appreciate it. This is a huge honor.
Oh, it's an honor for me that I can spend this time with you. So tell me, when did you know you wanted to be an actor?
Well, when I started, I was 8, and it all happened at a second grade talent show. I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna do some jokes. I'm gonna tell some jokes. So I became a stand-up comedian at the age of 8 in second grade talent show, and it just kind of took off. Then I started auditioning for bigger things and finding work somewhere else, and that's how I ended up, you know, getting to Pixar, was through the eventual lead up to, you know, finding that huge company. So yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So how did Pixar find you?
Well, it was kind of funny. I went to a talent go-see in Berkeley. They had a huge theater picked out, and you know, producers, writers, directors, talent from the area. They all showed up. There's like 100+ people, you know, of all ages and all sizes and any ethnicity. They just came, put in their resume, sang 2 songs and a monologue, and that's what I did. Then I get a call a week later from Pixar saying, hey, we want you to come audition for Monsters University. And I'm like, what's Monsters University? Is that a real thing? I was kind of excited. So I got there and I auditioned, and I was like, I was probably 11 at the time. And they were like, oh no, we don't want someone who's 11. We want someone who's like 4, like really little. I was like, oh, okay, sure. But they were like, let's send you to a different project. We don't have a name for it yet. So far it's just called the Lee Unkrich Project. So let's send you over there instead. And they send me there, and they were looking for a young Latino boy. So I get there, and they're like, oh, this is perfect. So they set me up with Lee Unkrich, and I start to work with the director and the producer, and we just start, you know, the table read, the actual pitch of Coco. It's insane, crazy stuff.
I can't believe it, just like that, huh?
Yeah.
You see, when you're the right fit, you're just the right fit. You just have to be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, it was a huge circumstance, but I really, you know, it was just a stroke of luck, so I'm really happy with that, yeah.
Well, it's a blessing is what I call it. So tell us, did you have any training?
I did.
Did you take any classes in theater and drama?
Yeah, I did a lot of work throughout middle school. In my middle school class, I worked with my teacher, Ms. Jordan, and in high school too, when I still kept working with Coco, I had started working with Mr. Manthe, and he's a really talented director too. You know, a lot of great ideas and lots of character work, how to embody a character and how not to just, you know, act, but more like really push yourself as an actor to form that person. So yeah, I did a lot of work with those people, and a couple of classes with my agency, but yeah, definitely I did a lot of work, and yeah, a lot of time went into it.
This enthusiasm tells me that you're going to be the next, what's my favorite, Johnny Depp. And don't forget to be then, because you have to come back on my show at that time. Okay? Deal?
The 21 Jump Street?
Everyone's hearing this. It's on camera.
Okay.
So what did you find the most challenging in the role of Coco?
Ooh, the most challenging part was growing up. I started when I was 12, and I had a really young and, you know, excited, high voice. I was this like awkward alto. I was a really high-pitched voice, and then eventually in freshman year, my voice dropped, and it's like this now, you know, it's kind of low, not really,
yeah.
But I went from, you know, that high pitch to a lower tone, and unfortunately I was no longer fit for the role. So
what happened?
So they said, you know, we can, you know, you provided the scratch voice, and we really thank you for that, but we want to put you in some kind of little line, you know, if anything, you know. So that's what they did. They dropped me in a little line, and then yeah, they still kept me on board and brought me around to the screening and all that kind of fun stuff. But yeah,
that's great. So what percentage of the movie did they use your voice?
They didn't really use, they used it for one little line, But from the initial start, when they were doing the table read and the rewrites and the little storyboards, that's what they used all my voice for. It was writing music. I got to work with super talented artists, Robert and Kristen Anderson Lopez, and they wrote the score for I want to say Let It Go. It's Frozen and Frozen the musical. Super talented, and they're EGOTs, so props to them, I guess. But yeah, I got to work with some really talented people. But
How long did the movie take overall for them to complete it?
I was on for like 6 years. It was a long time. I don't think that includes the initial concept and all that stuff, but it takes a really long time from start to finish. Yeah, it takes a long time.
And you were on the set throughout the production?
I was on set for well, mostly when they called me in for storyboard, voiceover, working with the director, recording, re-recording, and we went through like maybe 5 or 6 different writes, maybe even more than that, of the same movie. So
right. How did that affect your ability to go to school? How did that fit in with your schooling?
Well, thankfully it didn't interfere too much.
Okay.
I know that it wasn't super taxing, but it was a lot of work was put into that. I'd say I went at least like 4 or 5 times a month. I would miss a day of school, or spend a weekend there in Pixar in Emeryville, just working, rewriting, re-recording, everything. So yeah, I remember the day that they actually sent me to LA. That was during a school week, so I missed like 3 days of school to take a plane out to LA and work with those artists who were writing some of the original scores. So yeah, it was really cool.
Why do you think they selected you for the role?
I think it's because Miguel, or Marco when it first started, is a very young, resilient, sporadic, and ambitious young boy who has a lot of dreams
and drive.
And
like
drive.
You.
He's willing to go for it and grab it, whatever it is.
Yeah.
He's willing to leave what he knows is familiar to go get it. And I think that's something that I pride myself in, is having a lot of drive and ambition to go get what I want. And if that means I want to be an actor, then I'm going to put in those hours. I'm going to go work for it.
And you will be an actor, I can tell. Well, you already are.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I've been in commercials, a little bit of TV, some smaller productions. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that was one of my questions, if you've ever been in a movie besides Coco.
Yeah, I did do a short movie also with Pixar. It was called Lifeline. Oh wow, that one was live action, but it was really intense. It was a really hard tearjerker. It's about a family that is going through a crisis because they lost a child. So, I played this ghost child, and it's a completely weird look into how a family is functioning and missing the most important part, which is like the child that was supposed to come. But yeah, that was another one that I did.
Well, after listening to what you just said, what did you find the most appealing about the character of Coco?
Definitely, Miguel has a lot of ambition as well, like I said before, but one of the things is he's able to leave whatever it is to go, chase that dream. You see it a lot when he's leaving Hector, when he's leaving his family.
Right.
And he's just leaping for it, and it's huge. That's like a really big thing is, how many chances do you get to really go see something, You have to, like, Ernesto says, you have to seize your moment. So it's insane to think how, like, he's been so inspired his whole little life that he just takes every single chance that he gets. That's really big to me, so.
I love your enthusiasm, and you're very confident. It's great. I really see. I just wish that more people believed in themselves and were willing to chase their dreams and their passion like you. What message would you have for young men and women in your age group that have dreams but they're afraid? What would you say to them?
I would definitely say to them that there's always going to be people who say that you can't do it because you're whatever, some arbitrary reason, because of your race, because of your age, because of your height, whatever it is, they're going to say, oh, you can't do it. But it doesn't matter who it is or how they say it or what they say.
Right.
You know, what matters is that you go chase that dream and you don't give up. You follow all the way through with your goal. So yeah, that's what I would say.
I think it's a great message, and I hope they're listening to you.
I hope so too. I mean it. Please don't give up on your dream or whatever your goal is. Follow all the way through with it.
So if you had a magic wand, and you could wave it and get the wish for the next movie and the part you do, what would that be?
I would, it sounds selfish, but I would probably want to be a superhero. There's so many superhero movies, and those are so cool. I've always loved the Spider-Man movies when I was little.
Yes.
I had a VHS copy of like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
Yes.
So yeah, that was, you know, the Sam Raimi series. So yeah, that's definitely a really big one for me. I would definitely want to be a superhero, work with Disney and work with Marvel. It's such a great opportunity, you know what I mean?
I think so. So you've been exposed to a couple of movies and you've been involved with Pixar. Which producer impressed you the most and why?
I definitely like Pixar's way of, because this was a huge thing when they did Coco. They kind of paid attention to a really small market, which is the Mexican culture. But it's such a big deal how a big company decided to focus in on a minority, and it's huge. You know, the focus is the importance of family. I really love that they focused on that. And the director, Lee Unkrich, he took so many trips to my mother's hometown, Michoacan.
Really?
Yeah, he went and, you know, lived with the families that were there. He really put in every single bit of himself to make sure that what he was portraying on screen was reality. So. Isn't
he from Mexico also?
No, he's not. But he is very, very into, you know, the culture and portraying the right amount of heritage there. So really beautiful handling of the way that, you know, they show the material and all that stuff.
Right.
So.
And you said you were how old?
I was 11 when they auditioned me, 12 when we had started the table read.
And how old are you now?
I am 18, so I'm a full-grown man.
Listen to you.
Or some version of that. I don't know.
Oh,
yeah. I don't look like it, but yeah.
Well, so you just graduated from high school, you told me earlier, and then you're heading off to college. What's your focus going to be on in college?
Cinema and television arts. I definitely want to continue with my acting career, but I'm very interested in the production side and the screenwriting. Screenwriting is a huge thing for me. There's, you know, such a need for creativity, and I'm willing to put in all that work for it.
I am so excited. I swear I can see you doing everything you're telling me you want to do. And just hold that drive. And, you know, along our paths in life, sometimes we have dreams and goals and we get knocked down, but get up and see walls as something to climb over or to go around.
Yeah.
Don't let them stop you. Keep that enthusiasm going.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
You are going to go to school here or in Los Angeles?
In Anaheim, I'm going to CSU Fullerton, so right on the edge of Anaheim and Fullerton. So I'm very excited for that. I really, really want to give this everything that I've got.
What are your plans for the summer?
I'm going to keep working and keep auditioning for more roles, and definitely save up to keep going for college, because you know, I've put in a lot of time into this, so I'm not just gonna give up. I really want to give this 100%. So yeah.
And you know, the more you work at something, the more comfortable you become with it, and the better your chances become. So in your school, are you the most popular kid?
No, I hope not. No, that's terrible. I don't know. I don't think I am the most popular. I mean, I've done a lot of shows. So people ask, have you done shows? I think I've seen you on stage at school, but no, I don't think I am the most popular.
So you're actively involved in your theater at your school?
Yeah, I did a lot of theater while I was there. All 4 years, I was in the advanced acting lab, BITCO, which was the Boston Theater Company. There's it's a small group. It's like a small class, about 18 to 20 of us. And we put on shows, we, do a lot of work together
Yes.
as a group, and yeah, that's definitely one of the biggest sources of building myself as an actor and as a person too. Yeah.
Well, this summer you should come here to KMVT and do some classes, you know.
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah.
They have classes. If you like it that much, it may be a way to spend your summer. We should talk about this
Okay, sure.
after the interview if your mom and you
Oh, yeah,
are
sure, yeah,
interested.
she's interested, yeah.
Yeah. So you guys live in San Jose?
We do, yes.
And when you go down to school in Los Angeles, I guess we're not going to be seeing you for a long time.
No,
I could just see you going to school and then ending up in Hollywood, and then we just hear of you visiting the area.
I hope so. I really hope to, like, you know, work there. That's the heart of the industry. Just like here, it's all technology. Down there, it's all film. So I'm really hoping to work for film. That's my passion. That's what I love.
And while you were filming Coco, I'm sure you met a lot of people. Are you in touch with any of them?
Sadly, no. I did work with some big names. I got to work with Benjamin Bratt. That was really cool. He did the table read with a lot of us, but oh man, yeah, I sadly don't have contact with all of them, but yeah, that was a really big thing.
Well, like, hopefully some of those producers remember you, and then a role might come up, and they may think, you know, Emilio.
Yeah.
He might be a good fit for this.
I have kept in touch with Pixar. I did do some scratch work for another film. I can't disclose any of it.
Yeah. Don't tell me.
Yeah.
Don't get in trouble on my show.
Yeah, but I can say that, you know, it's a. I actually can't say anything. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to say I did keep going with another one. Yeah.
Please don't say anything. Okay. But when you can say something, will you call me and tell me?
I'll tell you, yes. I'll be like, hey,
so
this is the whole movie. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So when you finished Coco, did you feel a little sad?
I did. I remember the day that I walked in and they were like, wow, your voice is getting really low. And I was like, no, I don't even have a low voice for my age. And I felt really sad, but it was a really huge learning experience. And I think that is actually what made me fall in love with the whole production side of filmmaking and producing, because I had already done the acting and the in front of the camera work, but behind the camera is interesting to me. That's really important too.
That's what you're more interested in, or are you more interested in being in front of the camera?
I think, well, as far as how much I've done, I have done a lot more in front of the camera, but I really am interested in getting behind and seeing how that works. But of course, I will always try to do in front of the camera. That is my love, is to do that. So. Do
you ever see yourself producing your own movie?
Oh. Maybe. I don't know if I'd be in it, but I would definitely want to produce it, write it, definitely. Yeah, I really would love to do that.
So you have a passion for writing?
Yeah. I've written 2 plays at school, and they were produced for a one-act festival, so I really love it. I really love writing, so. What type of drama do you like writing? Like, do you? I like, well, the first one that I wrote is a little bit more science fiction-y, but the second one is a little bit grittier. And right now I'm kind of into like a gritty and, you know, weird introverted style of film, kind of seeing how humans interact with each other and the differences and how they can talk to each other and talk to themselves. So yeah,
very interesting.
I really want to see that. Yeah.
Yes, I'd love to see some of that. Yeah. Well, you know, you said earlier that there's so many things that affect our opportunities in life, because sometimes they're looking for someone for a part, but they want a Caucasian person, or like in this case, they wanted a Mexican young man. Do you feel that people are limited because of those barriers?
Yeah, there's definitely still limitation in society. There's definitely some, I don't know what to call it. I think like racial microaggression or something. There's like some small pieces in the industry that are just not clicking all the way. I would really love to see, you know, the talent in the Latino community, or, you know, in the African American community or the Asian community to be exposed to, because, you know, that's really important too. And this is one of the huge things in Coco, is the exposure of that. So I really love what they did about it, but yeah, I would love to see more of that.
But there's your opportunity to write parts for these
oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Here's your chance.
I would love to, yeah, that'd be my thing. I would totally write stuff in. That'd be amazing.
Because I think the world is just one world.
Yeah,
it's really, us humans that make it other little worlds.
Yeah.
And if we all take a step toward making it the one universe that it is, you know, then we could help to create change.
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe you could start this summer in your downtime writing this next skit that can have Chinese and African Americans and Mexicans, and then come on my show.
Okay, sure.
And we'll promote it.
That sounds like a good idea.
I'm just kidding. So your sister wants to be, and she wants to act as well, she was telling me.
Oh yeah, she is 5 and she dances everywhere and acts everywhere and is crazy, but she is definitely in love with music. I used to play music for her a lot when she was really, really little, and you can kind of see it happening with my brother too, but he loves hearing the songs and she starts to kind of sing along, and although she doesn't talk, you know, fully yet, she still like can sing a song and learn the lyrics, and it's kind of cute, you know. You see her, you fall in love with the art of music and the art of acting and stuff. So.
Right. How many awards did Coco win? I know it won quite a few.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I forgot. I think they won like 2 or 3.
Right.
I know that they got the best animated film, which is, you know, totally they deserve that. And I also think that they got one for the best original soundtrack. And so, yeah, and that's again for Kristen and Robert Anderson Lopez. I think he's now like a double EGOT, which basically means you got all 4 of the awards, the Emmys, Tonys, Grammys, and the Oscars. So he's a double EGOT, and he's the youngest one ever. That's crazy. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I had not seen the movie, but I watched the Academy Awards. Yeah. And I saw this Coco winning all these awards. I'm like, what is Coco?
Yeah.
And then a month later, I was on an airplane flying back east. And I thought, oh, let me watch a movie. And I watched it.
Oh.
And I fell in love with the movie.
Yeah.
I fell in love with the story.
Did you cry?
I did.
I cried
forgot
too.
I was on a plane. I'm like, stop being such a big baby. The passenger next to me was looking at me like, what's wrong with you? But I loved the song.
Yeah.
Was that song made for that movie?
Yes, that was there since the table read. I remember the table read. They had Remember Me. And you hear it in 3 different styles throughout the whole movie. In the first one, you hear the showy tune kind of one. Then you hear the really genuine one at the turning point of Act 2. Then you finally hear it at the end where, you know, the conflict has been resolved. So you hear it from Miguel. So yeah.
I know, and I thought it's such a beautiful song. Who wrote it?
The same team, the same couple that wrote the soundtrack for Frozen, Robert and Kristen Anderson Lopez. They're they're super
good.
talented. Yeah.
Very. It was a beautiful song. I don't want to give too much away about the movie.
Of course.
Because I never know who's watching this show that hasn't seen it.
That's true. No spoilers.
No spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
No spoilers.
There will be none. Yeah.
But I thought that there was such a great message in it. The message. And I actually watched it a couple of times because, you know, on airplanes you're distracted. And I thought the same enthusiasm that you portrayed in that character, that's who I'm talking to now. Were you like this before the movie, or did some of the movie rub off on you?
Definitely. I fell in love with the movie, and I got to learn all of it before it came, you know, to its final form. But seeing it come to life is huge, and seeing the art, just everything come to life, that was... Yeah, it just the whole idea of the movie.
What is it like to be on the set every day watching it?
Oh, it's so beautiful. Like, you see how artists, well, because it's an animated movie, the artist has to come up with everything. So you have the directors, well, the director Lee, he's you know, giving these artists direction, and they're coming up with brand new characters and weird outlooks on, you know, like what would the Land of the Dead look like? Would it be colorful? Would it be, you know, boring? What would it be like? And seeing how they just form a world out of nothing, it's crazy. And seeing how the script reflects that, it's insane. So yeah, that was what it was like.
How long did they take to produce the entire movie? What kind of time?
I was there for 6 years. I don't know how long. I think it might have been like 8.
Oh, wow.
I think because I know that I was on board for a long time. Then there was a year where they were doing like the soundtrack and all that stuff. But before that, I would imagine there was a year of, you know, idea, concepts being thrown around, and like, I want to start a project. Well, I don't know, Lee, can you really do it? And then he's like, oh, I'll write the script. So they did. But yeah, I'd imagine this around 8 years. You know, it takes around 4 if things go really smoothly.
Wow.
4 years.
Long time.
This is a long time, yeah.
That's why actors and actresses get paid so much, because you sit around. I was in a movie. I read 2 lines.
Oh, yeah?
And I sat around for like 4 days. I'm like, this is not for me. I'm too hyper.
Yeah.
I just can't sit there doing nothing.
Yeah, a lot of patience goes into it.
Right. So we're down to our last minute. What would you like to leave with my viewers that I did not ask you?
Okay. I would like to recap the fact that if anyone tells you that you can't do it, or that you're not supposed to do it, if you're not supposed to make your goal happen, or whatever it is, go chase that dream, go chase that goal, and be resilient, because it's really about how you can go and get it. You know, it's not about where you start. It's not about who you are when it all begins. It's about, like, you went, you showed the determination and the perseverance to go get it. And that's what I would say to anybody watching, is just go grab that goal. Go grab that dream. Yeah.
Well, I couldn't even say it that well myself. Are you sure you're only 19, 18?
18, yeah.
I'm even giving you an extra year. I'm like, is he really 18? I just hope that more people your age have your enthusiasm, your drive, and realize that their life is theirs, to grab it by the horns and make the best of it. Once again, thank you to my great crew. Thank you to my guests. Thank you, viewers. I hope you enjoyed this interview. This young man is very inspiring. Hopefully he's inspiring some of you watching this show to get up and go after your dreams. And thank you so much for watching the Jennylyn Show. And I will see you next time.